Everybody's gardening and prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you into our kitchen where this evening I am finally getting around to making the pine needle infused oil. It is not essential oil. This is infused oil because I finally have a power cord once again for my Eddy Whip machine. So let's get busy making some infused pine needle oil. Now, there are three ways to make infused oil. You can do it in the Eddy Whip machine, which is done in an hour's time, and you don't have to watch it, you don't have to worry about it, everything's done for you. Or you can do what I used to do, double boiler method. Put your pine needles and your choice of carrier oil in the top part of your boiler. Put enough water in the bottom and just barely simmer it. And keep an eye on your water. Don't let it boil out. It can take anywhere from 5 to 8 hours or overnight. So that one is what I used to do. And then there's the cold fusion way where you put your pine needles and your oil in a jar and let it steep for 8 weeks. It just doesn't pull enough of the nutrients out of the pine needles to suit my likes. So I either use the double boiler method or, well, you can also put your pine needles and oil in quart jars and set them on top of canning jar bands and put them in a crock pot. But still, I prefer either the double boiler or especially the Eddy Whip machine method. Now, you want to make sure that you have cleaned out all the dead pine needles out of your pine needles. I did not just go pluck them off a tree, folks. Trim the branches. If the tree needs lower branches trimmed and all the needles look good, trim your branches. It will cause your tree to grow straighter. And this is, where is it? There we go. This is the end that is attached to the branch. I leave them on. Now, I have made sure there's no dead needles, any dead tips. I have cut them off with scissors or plucked them, and I have cut these down. I really don't have to cut them down fine at all because the Eddy Whip machine absolutely pulverizes them. Now, let's get started. Now, the one thing let's talk about is medicinal benefits. There are so many medicinal benefits to pine needle infused oil. Once again, not essential oil for those who don't like to listen. This is pine needle infused oil. Now, I'm making the oil to make salve with. You can leave it as an oil. It is amazing to rub on inflamed joints, inflammation. It does have a little bit of pain soothing abilities. It does work on inflammation. You can also rub it on your chest if you have chest congestion, if you're coughing, or if you have colds, pneumonia, so on. It's also wonderful for fungus, um, athlete's foot. You can dab your cotton ball with the pine oil. Don't re-dab it. Throw it away. Use a fresh one each time. You can dab it on your athlete's foot or ringworm and it will kill it. Now, also, it is good for when you get the horrible winter dry skin where it gets so dry it cracks. It is wonderful for soothing that. It is also wonderful for chapped lips. There are so many different things you can use this for. Also for wound care, um, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea. You just rub the oil on it. It's so many wonderful medicinal benefits, and I'll have them in the description box below the video as always. All right, I'm going to take my top off my Eddy Whip, and you can see the little chopper on the end. It will pulverize all this up. Now, I'm going to add, this is 4 cups of pine needles. They are not fresh. They have been sitting around for a while now, about a week. Then them kind of dry out a little bit. You do not want to use fresh. You could, but you're gonna have to realize you're gonna get less shelf life on it because it will have some moisture in it. Now, my preferred choice of carrier oil is just plain olive oil. I don't use extra virgin because one, it has a shorter shelf life, and that extra virgin is getting too expensive. They need to cast her away because, yeah, she's costing too much money. But no, just plain olive oil. Read your labels. Make sure that it is not mixed olive oil because they are getting bad about cutting it with other oils. And olive oil is not cheap anymore. Hopefully that'll be changing here soon. And I shimmy it a little bit. I could use a chopstick. I want to make sure that there's no air bubbles in there. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Not much. And it'll probably end up being 5 or 6 cups of oil at the end. Now, I'm going to gently maneuver that wand back down in there. Now this gets hot, so I'm going to scoot back the blanket. I'm going to get this beautiful power cord here. I could not tell you how much I love this machine. Yes, I know it's supposed to be used for other things, but don't matter. Now, with that being said, I'm going to, now, if you use coconut oil, that's your prerogative. If you want to use that, you have to set it for 2 hours. Alright, we're going to push the oil button. It automatically starts for an hour. I'm going to go an hour 10 just because I want to. And push the start button. Now, it's going to make, for a little while, loud noise. It's fine. It's that blade not only stirring the oil up, but chopping up all the pine needles. And once it's done, it will beep and it'll stop. Basically, what you do is get everything set up inside, put the lid on, put your timer on, and push start and walk away. Now, it's going to take it a little bit, and it'll get sound bad for a little while, but and then it'll stop for a bit. Alright, I'll bring you back once it's done. Okay, it is officially done. In my jar. Now make sure everything is clean and sanitized. Inside my jar, I have 2 teaspoons of vitamin E oil, and this is soy free. It is pure sunflower seed oil, if I remember right. And it's 100% pure and organic. I have my funnel. I have my uh, strainer. These filterless coffee strainers are amazing for straining oil and tincture as well. Oh, no, 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 no. Alright, first off, I need to unplug it. And I'm keeping a hawk's eye on this cord. Setting it there for a minute. Well, until I get done. You want to gently remove your lid. Now I've let it sit for just a little bit so it will cool down because it gets very hot, y'all. Not over hot to the point where it'll mess your oil up, but it will get hot. And let me get a rag. I'll be right back. Too excited that I can finally start using my oil infusing machine. And while the oil is still warm, it strains a whole lot better. And as you can see, kind of in there, all those pine needles are pulverized. Oh, it smells good. And you can see how beautiful and dark this infused oil is. And of course the oil will thicken some when it cools down. It won't solidify unless it gets cold. But it strains so much better while it's still warm. I'm going to go get a spatula, sanitize it, and I'll be right back. Okay. You'll need to use a spatula so that the oil will move through. If you have to move it around, move all the pulp. Now comes the fun part. And you can see, hold on, you can see how cut up and pulverized those pine needles are. And yes, there is a lot of oil trapped in those pine needles. Now, it's not enough plant material for me to get out the press, but if I was making multiple batches at once of this, yes, I would get the press out and squeeze as much of the oil out as I could. But since I'm not making multiple batches at the moment, I love it because nothing burns, nothing sticks. And it smells so good, y'all. I'm going to keep squeezing until I don't get any more drips of oil, and I will bring y'all right back. Okay, I am done. I have 6 cups of beautiful, very dark, rich, warm um, pine needle infused oil. And that is enough to get 3 batches of salve, 3 very large batches of salve. I want to make sure that the vitamin E oil is absorbed off the bottom. But look at that. You see how dark? You can't even see through that beautiful oil. You can see the big difference. This is olive oil from the beginning. This is the finished product. And it has a beautiful, very green, you can't tell it unless you're right here, beautiful green hue. This is going to be so medicinal. I'm going to be able to help heal a lot of people. Now, label. Pine needle oil. I automatically know it's infused oil, and I made it One, yeah, today's the 25th. I had to think there, no, today's the 20th. Yeah, 25th. Lord, today's the 24th. That's 25th year. Look at that. Now you can use this as is. Once it cools down a little more for a rub or inflammation. It does have a little bit of pain relieving uh, ability. Excellent for cracked, dry skin. It is wintertime. We do not hydrate ourselves as much as we should, so we will get dry skin. It'll crack. This is also good for chapped lips, but I prefer when I make the salve to use the chapped lips because the beeswax helps a whole lot more. But yeah, wonderful, absolutely beautiful, dark, rich, infused pine needle oil, not essential oil. Infused pine needle infused olive oil. Simple, easy, homemade. You can do it. You can do it with the Eddie Whip infused oil machine by Alpha420.com. You can use a double boiler as long as you don't let your water underneath get too hot and you don't let it boil out. Using the double boiler takes anywhere from 5 to 8 hours. With this machine, 1 hour. Unless you're using coconut oil, then you have to give it 2 hours. I don't like coconut oil. It stinks, so I don't use it. I use the oldest oil used to man, olive oil. Simple, easy, homemade. Anybody can do this. Now, I'm going to let it set for a couple of days. It won't look like it on video because I'm going to let it set a couple of days. Today is Friday. I had to think. Today is Friday. I'm going to let it sit till Sunday or Monday, and I will make pine needle salve, which this video should post Monday, and the salve will post the next day. So, yeah, I'm going to make sure. Oh, Lord, I'm bright. Hold on. There we go. That's a whole lot better. I'm going to let it sit till Sunday, and then I'll make the salve, and the video will post Tuesday. Simple, easy, homemade. Anyone can do this as long as you have the ingredients and you have either the Eddie Whip or another different machine, or you have a double boiler. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, cold infusing the oil and just the olive oil and the pine needles in a jar is not going to end up looking like this. Look at that. That is absolute beautiful, strong, infused oil. Everyone, I hope this video encourages you to start making your own simple, easy, homemade. Continue to keep stocking your pantries with food that will nourish and sustain you. Medicinals that will heal you. Protection of all kinds, and above all else, the bare essentials to survive on. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Y'all stay safe, stay sound, stay warm and dry, and may you each be blessed. Hoot, hoot. Mwah! Love y'all. I'll see you soon. Take care.